A true sovereign citizen and an actual sovereign citizen is aware of and recognizes who is the true enemy of true sovereignty. It's just as simple as that. And I will say to you, for every definition of a thing, there is an evil backwards definition of a thing. Hello. Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video. And I'm going to just tell you outright, because I showed you a video clip in Wikipedia, and I'm not going to try not to ramble and waste too much time on talking about that, but my point is, Wikipedia, how clever and manipulative they are, they will give you a definition that is true. You're not denying that it's true. You're not saying that it's a lie, even though some of them lie. Well, in a definition dictated by particular creators, they can take one of two approaches. They can either outright lie to you, or they'll tell you, give you a definition that is true, and intentionally leave out the counterpart to that definition, which I say the definition that they will declare legit is actually hijacked. Or is it really hijacked? And I've told people before, for every definition of a thing, there is a backwards definition of a thing, because my particular spiritual beliefs are kind of part Christian and part occult, not no Aleister Crowley type occult that I tear that apart all the time. And I define true sovereignty in a certain way. And this video is like, okay, the one that got the most views, which kind of sovereign citizen did you want to be? Hey, by now a bunch of you probably see what I'm doing on purpose right then, right there. And like I said, like the rest of you, either laughing smileys, and I could tell you didn't watch the fucking video, because those who watch the video, same thing as with videos that I'd make again too about gang stalking, which I made before. I do and say everything on purpose, and I see right off the bat the people with the laughing smileys and troll comments. I know right away. I'm testing the grounds here already, and why I don't give a fuck about some of y'all is because I can see right there. I'm counting heads of who's actually watching the videos, and if you do certain types of comments and comments that put words in my mouth, right away you think you're shit, but actually I can tell you didn't watch the fucking video. And just like out there in the world, my supporters and people I know that are friends, I've already deliberately made a liar and ass out of you. You know what I mean? So you're better off taking the time and presenting to me something do you agree with, and typing a timestamp in there to show you what you were looking, and tell me why you agree with it or why you hate it, you know. But anyway, if you got this far, I'm not going to ramble on too much of that. I'm just putting that right to you out there, point blank. And this dovetails into the one video, which sovereign citizen do you want to be? It got all the views. If any of you revisited me there too. If you've actually watched what I watched here, what I regard as true sovereignty. True sovereignty is showing a kind of a respect and working with people, troubleshooting problems, making pacts, agreements, and maybe having agreements, promises, and treaties, not like on paper but verbal, you know what I mean, establishing, you know, things like that. And my thing about that, the reason why I said in the beginning about that definition on Wikipedia, if you were to take the word sovereign and citizen, you were to say you're sovereign and you're a citizen of who and what, and that definition would be, oh, you're somehow a citizen of a bunch of lowlifes, according to that definition. But that's the backwards. But actually, those people in that definition that are like that would say that I'm giving the backwards definition. But don't forget, in some cases, like a diehard conservative would see right away in that there are evil and backwards versions of things, and you could say even there's a parallel world, a hellish world that people want to make this one into a backwards world where good is bad and bad is good. And you see what I mean? And I know things like this. So you got this far in this video, the way I say the things I do and what makes the things that I say true is right here. Okay, not to tell you the life story, but during the pandemic, becomes a game changer. And in other videos that I'll tell you, according to my beliefs, is the right time to make affirmations, invocations, and declarations. And I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'd lecture that later on. But like I'm a different version of the YouTuber Styx Hexenhammer 666, and rather than attack his version of anything occultic, I would rather not waste time doing that and better off explaining why my beliefs, a combination of beliefs, work for me. And you do what works. You gotta, anyway you see things. Anyway, okay, pandemic, a major time of major financial upheaval for everybody, and there was a lot of bad things going on the streets and people doing damage to public property and businesses, which our current president and his vice president, this woman that thinks she's going to get in as president, didn't say a fucking thing to even condemn, and yet she wants to tell everybody, act like that she's going to be your fairy godmother and have a magic wand, and all of a sudden, bam, you got money to buy a house, thinks you're and she might even, but I'm not going to ramble about her, but I'm being sarcastic here. And next thing what she's going to try to say next after that she's going to, yeah, I'm laughing at all I'm saying. Was she going to wave a magic, have you believe that she can wave a magic wand and turn a pumpkin into a brand new car for you? Anyway, but enough about that. I'm not going to ramble about that. The point is, I want to get that in there because that's what these videos are about, also getting digs in, which my haters over there and shitty commenters, I'm saying shit right the fuck under your nose. Anyway, my point, what I'm getting at this, during a time, me and my partner, there's a lot of people that had more money than us that damn near were homeless. And there was even, for a while, yuppies and people with nice cars, even temporarily collecting food stamps because a lot of people's jobs shut down. And the declaration to me, open declaration to my true version of a sovereign citizen. The reason why I tell any of you fuckers that don't like what I'm saying, the reason why I tell you it's true, why I'm here, I'm proving that it's true. You know why? Because during that time of upheaval in 2020, everybody, and even businesses, as in people, want to go woke and go with because they think that all of a sudden the revolution is gone. All of a sudden the revolution is on. They better suck up to the protest culture. No justice, no peace. I declared my personal sovereignty along with other people. I did it openly and even online in blogs. And this is what I feel when you need a place, when you're looking for a new place to move, and a new home and a new place to live, seeking a neighborhood, so to speak. So I declared right away my sovereignty and my respect for the sovereignty of others by putting myself out there, knowing that I'm going to need a new place to live for me and my partner. I put myself out there as what a true sovereign citizen is, a non-threat to the people of where you seek to get a place at, where everything else is no vacancy too, the same as when back in my days in my 20s when I had a good paying job and Western Pennsylvania out of minimum wage, but my landlord sold my building and the new buyers made everybody leave. And even though I had good money, there was no vacancy, no vacancy, no vacancy. And but anyway, I don't want to say about that to distract you, but I want to concentrate on 2020 and why my truth is truth up till now. During the pandemic, I'm not going to say the details of our business. We needed a new place to live. A lot of other people that were renting did that same thing too, or had their jobs were shutting down. And the president was our government was forbidding people from being evicted under certain circumstances if it's like your job shut down. But then there are some places that find ways around that anyway, but whatever reason. So needing a place, I put myself out there, and I got called a bootlicker for this. And I say, just because you're a bootlicker for that side, who's really it's just you call me a bootlicker because you think the boots of the people you're licking are better. But anyway, yeah, bootlicker my ass. I'm doing the right thing as being sovereign and respecting the sovereignties of others. I put myself out there intentionally everywhere as a non-threat to the community that I do not accept, or I'm not rooting for, I'm not on the side of, and I'm not cheering for, and see what the other words for. I do not glorify or celebrate the protest culture and the vandalism and the marching of the streets, like what happened in over there in what do you call it, Minnesota there, Minneapolis. People were doing all that shit I was talking about in all over the country. They sensationalized it even all over the world, and thinking, and I don't want to spend too much time on it. Your right to protest does not mean you do shit like that. And you do not block the traffic, people trying to go to work and live their lives in places that had nothing to do with that. That was intentional, a violation of people's rights. And I argue that that really was the dress rehearsal for an insurgency. And yeah, if you want to condemn the Capitol riot, yes, condemn it. I wouldn't do that. I don't think that was right. But you should condemn what was actually anything beyond basic rights of protest when it goes in towns that had nothing to do with it. That's an insurgency, and that's intimidation of citizens. And you're discouraging their sovereignty. And I say citizens should claim their sovereignty by doing this to the people that march in their towns. Don't be intimidated, you know what I mean? But anyway, not with a middle finger. That middle finger is for that protest culture. But like I said, once again, I put myself out as a non-threat to where I was going to get approved for a place to live. And people, like says, landlords were in different agencies that work for landlords. And I would do a separate video on landlords too, addressing landlords and the rights of the landlords. And I say that landlords have the right to check social media to see if you glorify these things. And I predicted that they will. I was perceiving that they will, and then people would probably call me a conspiracy theorist. This is how my words are truth, because I put my chips on everything I'm telling you here. I put my chips on the fact that I make my declaration that I do not glorify, celebrate, nor root for these people. Because after all, I believe, people can check social media, and you go to get a nice place somewhere and they see that. So by rejecting these people, I'm claiming my sense of sovereignty and believing in the sovereignty of my potential neighbors. So that definition of sovereign citizen that people like to have on Wikipedia, it's the work of evil, the backwards hellish realm which people wanted to make this into. You know, and Cambodia became that. The next step up to that hellish word is literally what happened to Cambodia. They want to destroy everybody's sense of sovereignty, and that's what they would do to you and me if they could. The protest culture. So true sovereignty is rejecting that and not be intimidated by that word. They wanted to say, if you don't raise your fist in the air, join us. An innuendo of threatening you, we're going to cancel you, or we might walk up and vandalize your property, or we're a mob, we'll have you beat up. And they want to, and I can talk all day about how most of the people that were being intimidated by this have no skill sets or no psychological skill sets to resist to get together and resist this intimidation. No offense to them, very domesticated, and people like this know this, and they want people to be domesticated. People in this town that I'm living in here right now, they want them to be so domesticated that you don't want them to. You're not saying for them to be violent, but they want very domesticated people, which are very good moral people, to be. And so people like us march in and we'll go, oh, okay, we better do what we say now because that revolution is on. We better do. Your true sovereignty is rejecting that, and to reject the things that destroy somebody else's peace, and reject those who say no justice, no peace, no justice according to the justice that they want. Oh, if no justice their way, none of y'all gonna have no peace. That's their threat and their innuendo, and where the people should be saying, no, fuck you. You protest the right way, and if you had problem with police that killed so-and-so or whatever, instead of taking him in to stand trial for his thing, whatever he did, you go to the Attorney General's office and you go to the district attorney. You protest, but you don't incite a mass protest all over the country, all over the world, and use it to get mobs to march in the streets and intimidate citizens and say you don't fight along with us. Make no mistake about it. These people wanted an insurgency. Yes, it's 4 years ago I brought it up, and yes, they will try it again. But I'm using it as an example of the rights of actual citizens and their sovereignty, and things that I reject here are an enemy of that personal sovereignty. And giving you the fact that Wikipedia definition of sovereign citizen is the backwards version of it. And just like I said, I'm a mixture. I'm similar to Styx Hexham, the YouTuber Styx Hexenhammer 666, but only I can't stand organized religion, but I have a better mixture of Christianity and I don't like to call it the occult, but my belief is an awareness, if you will, that for every definition of a thing, there is a backwards version of a thing. And even the Bible thumper in the suit and the fancy religion that says that I should get a haircut and obey him, even he knows this truth, that there is a backwards version of that, whether they like me or not. That's another thing too. I can say separately too, everybody's a religion, so to speak, maybe even a religion that maybe is more fancy, that says I should get a haircut or my word doesn't matter. They have rights. Respecting their rights is in a sense that and there's like can lecture you on people that I work next to, both black and white, and different kind of lifestyles that were moderate left and moderate right, as opposed to radical left and radical right. And I like to make fun of the radical left all the time, but I would tell you right up that yes, there is a far right that doesn't really like me, even though I'll lean right on something, and thinks I should have a haircut or just shut my mouth or whatever. And even YouTubers like SixXM or 666 and maybe other ones that out there, YouTubers that I can mention that didn't get a haircut either, that might have better hair than me, they're aware of that, even though they lean more right and they can't stand the left. And that the true but yet these YouTubers, along with the non-woke black YouTubers, they are advocating for and fighting for true sovereignty and fighting against this far left and this protest culture that is an enemy of true sovereignty. And the backwards version of this sovereign citizen thing, it's Wikipedia definition, it's a big lie that people do take part in. And I will say about that definition to end this, how the fuck can you be a sovereign citizen? How the fuck can you be sovereign? How the fuck can you be sovereign when you're following around, following some other lowlife like a little bitch? You know what I mean? And even if you're not a sheep follower of some opposite side, you respect the rights of others. I mean, that twisted one that you see on Wikipedia, if you want to go with that definition and say if you want to be like that definition on Wikipedia, how the hell can you be sovereign when you're reducing yourself lower and you're following along with lowlifes, and in doing so you're following someone else like a little bitch? And that's just like, say, unlike maybe some person that drinks a beer, smokes a cigarette, and smokes the sweet leaf once in a while, you're going to follow around what you think you're not a sheep, but yet you're going to follow some drug dealing lowlifes around like a little bitch. What's so sovereign about that? You know what I mean? It's about having the respect for others and rejecting protest culture, rejecting vandalism culture, and knowing that that's not no true revolution. That's intimidation, that's oppression, and that's harassment of citizens, and trying to break down and intimidate citizens out of their personal sovereignty. And when you reject these bad things, you are keeping your self-respect, self-esteem, and your personal sovereignty. And you're also respecting the sovereignty of others. I mean, because after all, you go with that Wikipedia definition. How can you say you're sovereignty like a king, like king shit, when you're want to go and just antagonize citizens, say, oh, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want, and steal the property, destroy the property of citizens, and call that sovereignty? Or because the definition of all those things in that Wikipedia definition, all those bad things that I condemn are a part of that definition. That's what, and I can go on and on anyway. Yeah, I can go on. It's about, but the final word, I'll say to you one more thing, say to you one more time. For every definition of a thing, good thing or bad thing, there's the backwards definition, and the thing that Wikipedia and media and then educational places, institutions, how manipulative they are. They will give you only one part of the thing and say that is the whole truth. And and they will be pushing and beating into your head a lie. And they're doing that in the public schools now. And then if you want to be educated by the public school, the crap are bringing in the public school, they are teaching the kids to give up their personal sovereignty for some common good, and to go along with and to pander to the rainbow mafia, and then gender identity garbage, which is actually an enemy of personal sovereignty. When they push that down your throat, they don't want you to have your personal sovereignty, which is your self-esteem, your self-respect. And on top of that, gaslight you, intimidate you, and say you're a bigot, you're a phobe. I can go on, but I'm going to end it right here.